Which books deserve their own like special? Okay, shelves are all now. Hi guys, welcome back. Today we're getting organised. It is spring. We're very nearly in summer to be honest, but it is spring and my shelves desperately need a spring clean. They get dusty so quickly and they have not had a clean or a dust, like a proper one, since Christmas, since we did this as part of Bookmas. So it's extremely overdue. So the plan for today is get every single book off the shelves, give everything a proper dust and a wipe and a clean. And then I really want to reorganize how everything goes back on. You can see in some displays, I kind of spread things out because I don't necessarily have enough books to fill all my shelves. And obviously I want to be able to add new books as my collection grows. But since Christmas, my collection has been growing and I now can't afford to have some of the books like as spread out as they are. So I wanted a bit of a reorganize, think a bit more about how I want to decorate them going into spring, summer. I think there's a few series that I might want to more prominently display. And then there might be some other series that have kind of had their time in the sun and could maybe get stacked slightly differently. As you can see on the chair, I also have a lot of new books that somehow need to find a home. So we need to reorganize in a way that everything new can fit on. But the vibes are high today. I'm wearing my little bookish tee. I've got a couple, but this is my favorite one, my Once Upon a Broken Heart. Pink spring summery bookish tee, which is making me very happy. And oh my gosh, the vibes were set from the very beginning of today because The Night and the Moth by Rachel Gellig arrived this morning. This is one of my most anticipated releases of the whole year. She obviously needs a very lovely place to be displayed on the bookshelves because look at these edges. Oh my gosh, I had no idea that it was going to have these edges. I mean, what? It is absolutely stunning. So obsessed with this. I can't wait to read it. There we go, popped on top of the pile of books, need to find a home. I'm obviously gonna put on an audiobook whilst we clean. Oh, and the only other thing on the agenda is I think there are a couple of books that I do definitely want to unhaul. So we're probably gonna unhaul those and we'll either take them somewhere today to be donated or maybe we'll do that in the next Bookish Monthly Reset video. We'll take those and donate them together. But yeah, spring clean, bookish edition. Let's do it. Okay, shelves are all now officially completely empty and we have a lot of books everywhere. So these are all of the books that I've read, and then on the chair and on the windowsill are all of the books that I am yet to read. And basically to go on TBR specific shelves. Whew, I don't even know how to start organizing these because everything like falls over on the bed and I just don't have enough floor space in this room to do it on the floor. So I think I'm gonna just do what I did last time, try and make some little piles. And I'm just gonna try and get these books organized into groups that I'm happy with. Okay, step 2, stock take and reorganize. Hi from the floor. I think we're officially organized in terms of I've now split all of my books into categories that make sense for me and like vibes that make sense for me. So this is where we are at. On this side, all the way down here, we have our sports romance. These are mostly contemporary hockey romance, to be honest. There's a couple of other sports in there under the Windy City series. I'm so excited. Today is also release day for the final book in that series, and honestly, it's one of my absolute favorite series. I'm so excited to be able to complete that collection. The final book is called Rewind It Back. It's Rio's story, so I might actually give that series one of its own plots in anticipation for completing that series with the new book that's out today. But this whole section here is all of my sports romance. Then down this entire section here, I've got my contemporary romance. So this is where I've got all of my Abby Jimenez, all of my Emily Henry. I've got some Lauren Asher in there. I've got my Jessa Hastings with the Magnolia Park series, which I still haven't finished yet. I've got some of my all-time favourites with Hannah Bonham Young, Lynn Painter, Better Than the Movies that I finished recently, which I love. The only ones in this section that I'm debating unhauling are my Ali Hazelwood books, especially The Love Hypothesis. I don't think I'm ever going to read that again. Pretty much every single time I have a good time, roughly speaking. They always sit somewhere in the 3 for me. I always enjoy them, but I don't think they're books I'm ever going to necessarily reread. Whereas I feel like pretty much every other book that I've got here, I'm keeping it because one, I had a whale of a time whilst I read it and I loved it and it's like worthy of a book trophy. And 2, I think I'm likely to read it again in the future. And Ali Hazelwood's, I don't really feel that way. So I've got 3 physical copies of Ali Hazelwood's Not in Love, The Love Hypothesis, and Check and Mate. And those I think are all up for debate on an unhaul. I think I might keep them a little bit longer, but once I start running out of space, I think they could be some of the first to go. Okay, then moving over a row, we enter fantasy. This whole row, this is where it starts to be like vibes specific. So this is my kind of fae fantasy. I think all has a similar vibe. Quicksilver by Callie Hart, When the Moon Hatched, Sarah A. Parker, all of the Powerless series by Lauren Roberts, Fourth Wing, all of the Akatar books, and then all of the Throne of Glass books as well. Do you agree? Like, if you know, you know. To me, like, this makes a lot of sense. And then my second pile of fantasy, which is in this row here, are books that all, to me, are like a little bit different to that kind of fae high fantasy vibe that to me describes all of those. So to start off with, I do have a little bit of Sarah J Maas in this column. I've got the Crescent City series, which I think is very different to Akatar and Throne of Glass. So I've got the Crescent City series, I've got some Kerry Lane. Technically Nocticadia is not fantasy, but I just like can't help but put it in the fantasy section. It just feels like it belongs there. The vibes are the same. But Nocticadia and Anathema, both by Kerry Lake. I've then got some Kristen Ciccarelli. Dance of Thieves by Mary E. Pearson is also an option for an unhaul. I soft DNF'd it. I kind of DNF'd it. Maybe it's a soft DNF. I don't know. Maybe I'll go back to it. I'll keep it here for now. My Six of Crows, all of my Carrie Maniscalcos, Rachel Gillig, Once Upon a Broken Heart, and Divine Rivals. You know those trends where it's like, if you liked this book, read this book? I really need to make some more of those videos because I find those so helpful. To me, this back section all fits with that so nicely. Like, if you liked One Dark Window, I think you'll like Once Upon a Broken Heart, and I think you'll like Divine Rivals. Like, all of those sit in the same vibe for me. And this final row, which really, to be honest, should be somewhere over there, but I'd already started the rows and then it was too difficult to move them. I have all of my cowboy romances. So this is my cowboy romance row. I feel so conflicted about the Rebel Blue Ranch series and whether or not I should buy the other physical copies of the series. I read Done and Dusted and like kind of enjoyed it. Then I read the other 2, which is Lost and Lassoed and can't remember the other one. And like, they were okay. One of them I really didn't enjoy. I think it was Lost and Lassoed. The one that's basically Heartless by Elsie Silver, I didn't enjoy. That was just too similar. But then I have held that Wild and Wrangled, which is the brand new one in that series, is actually really good and people have really enjoyed it. So I don't know, maybe I'll get them just so that I've got them as a completed series here. But I've got basically Elsie's full works, her first series Gold Rush Ranch, her second series Chestnut Springs, her currently unfinished series Rose Hill, and then I also have 2 other cowboy romance books which I really recommend if you've read all of Elsie Silver and you want like similar vibes and you really love Elsie Silver, then try Bailey Hannah. I have got here Alive and Wells and Seeing Red. I really liked Alive and Wells. Seeing Red was like not as good as the first one, but really enjoyed them. And another option for a cowboy romance if you're on a cowboy romance hype at the moment. And then if I scurry all the way over here, like I can't actually tell if you can even see me, but if I scurry all the way over here, I've then got 2 piles that are basically literary fiction, or I don't really feel like fit anywhere else. And then these 3 books, I think these are going to go downstairs in the living room, which is my lovely copy of One Day by David Nichols, and then my copy of Jane Eyre that actually does genuinely belong downstairs in the living room, and then the Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins. So this is where we're at. Everything's in its sections, and now everything needs to get back on the shelves. And we can start playing around with some displays. I need to have a think about what series I want to have a display, which books deserve their own like special spotlight. Oh, this is the really fun bit. Okay, right, part 3. Have we already done part 3? Is this step 3? Are we on to step 3 or step 4? Step 3, step 4, I'm not really sure. Maybe this is step 3. We took everything off, we've cleaned, we've organised, This is step 4, organize our displays. Let's do it. I'm officially all done and this is the final look. I'm really happy with it. It feels so different to how it was and it's all feeling very clean. In terms of decorations, I've actually decided to, just for like spring and I want everything feeling very fresh, to keep it super basic. I have this little tiny crochet flower pot, which is so cute. I actually very randomly found it at my local garden centre, but it's so sweet and so perfect for spring. And that is basically the only decoration. And then I've of course got my TBR jar and then my little mini book jar as well. And then this is the basket that basically contains all of my book stuff. I've got all of my journals, all of my pens, my little mini printer, everything lives in there. And then on this shelf, I've put my little bow dish with all of my spare Kindle stickers there because I find that when I pop them in this basket, they all just basically get lost. So I put my little Kindle stickers there. And then we've got books going all the way down there. We've still got one more shelf, which currently has spare sheets in my suitcase. We may get there with books one day. I actually still need to put a couple of things on here. Let me get it quickly. Oh look, my sprocket's actually in there, but I'm actually gonna pop my pens, my book journaling pens there, and then maybe I could actually display the journal and then just have the supplies in here. Maybe I'll do that. It's quite cute. Maybe I can just, okay, yeah, that's quite cute. Maybe I'll just have those two there for now. Okay, so that's the decoration elements, and then let me give you a little tour of the actual books. So if we start top left, up here, this is the general contemporary romance section. Very happy with this. I can't believe I've got a full shelf. Like, this is the only shelf that just fits perfectly every single one of my contemporary romance books in an exact perfect shelf. Like, this is so satisfying to me. Then we come down one and this is where I've got my sports romance. I'm giving the Windy City series as a little moment. I think Caught Up is my favorite book of the series. Miller and Kai were just, oh, epic. So they've got their own little moment of display. Can't wait to get Rewind It back and add it to this as well. Then we come down one, Throne of Glass. I mean, Throne of Glass can never not have a display. And I feel like this is the way I'm always gonna do the display. It's just, I love it. Come down one more. And here we've got fantasy that is a little bit different to kind of fae fantasy. Six of Crows is obviously front and center, and then Anathema also is stood up and facing forwards as well because I loved that book and I actually can't stop thinking about it. I'm so excited for the next book in the series. And then down here we have my little baby literary fiction shelf. This is going to get added to this year for sure. There's quite a lot on my TBR that are literary fiction, so it will get some more love. Coming over to the middle, this is where I've got my cowboy romance, and Wild Side is the book that I read most recently and also gave it 5 stars, I think, or at least I gave it 4.75. I absolutely loved Wild Side. Definitely my favorite from the Rose Hill series so far. I just think Elsie's books always look so good as well. Like, that just looks so nice together. Okay, coming up the middle, we've obviously got the basket. If anyone's interested, this basket is from H&M and it was really affordable, so highly recommend. If you want something to just dump all of your bookish stuff so that it's all neat and tidy in a way and still kind of looks aesthetic, maybe on your shelves or somewhere you can put it, I definitely recommend this one. And then we go up one, and this is like not displayed great. I don't know how to do this because I really believe that all of these books, maybe I'll do it more like that. I don't know. Basically, of all the books on here, like the Powerless series and Fourth Ring are definitely like my least favorite. Like, they don't really need to be seen. Maybe I could do that instead. Quicksilver and When the Moon Hatched both deserve some love. Maybe it'll be a bit more like that. Loved these two. This is like my fae high fantasy shelf. Coming up the top, we've got Magnolia Parks has its own section. I haven't even finished reading it yet. In fact, I've only read one book of the entire series. I just know it's worthy of its own department, and also those books are a completely different size, so I wouldn't really be able to put them on there nicely because these ones are all much bigger than any of these books that I've got. Okay, then we come across, and up here we have, I don't even know what I categorize these books as, but we've got fantasy. I still just can't get over how nicely these go together. And then I've got Once Upon a Broken Heart and The One Dark Window duology there together. Okay, that is all the books that I've read. Now we enter 3 shelves worth of TBR. This is heartbreaking to me. In my last video, we did a haul of all the books that I bought on my book shopping trip, and I went on about how I've been looking for Legendborn and I haven't been able to find it, and clearly recently I have been able to find it and I've bought it, and I just had no idea that I'd bought it. I don't even know how I'd block that out. Anyway, now I have 2 copies, so I either need to see if I can find a receipt and return it, but to be honest, I'm almost certain that I don't have the receipt. So if anybody would like a copy of Legendborn by Tracy Dion, then let me know, DM me, and I'll send it to you in the post because I have a spare one now. So this is the fantasy TBR shelf. This is the contemporary romance TBR shelf with the crochet flower on it. And then down here we have the literary fiction and just other TBR shelf. And that is officially it. I'm so happy with them. I am going to unhaul 2 books that I'm definitely unhauling. One is John Green's Paper Towns. I got this as part of a blind date with books, and I just don't love the movie front covers. I can't do it. So I'm gonna unhaul this. I just can't have this on my beautiful shelves. And the second one I'm gonna unhaul is The Doll Funeral. I also read this as part of my blind date with books, and this book just like wasn't really for me, and I just don't see myself picking it up again. So I'm going to donate that as well, because I think both of these books are genuinely good books. I think other people would really enjoy them, so they're just a waste collecting dust on my shelf when someone else out there would really enjoy both of these books. So I'm gonna get these donated, but otherwise I'm so happy with this. I'm also really happy with my decision to just keep, I was trying to work out like how I want to decorate it. I've got lots of little mini cuddly toys that go really cute on shelves. I would love a couple more shelf jelly cats. There's the egg on toast, which I want to put on my bookshelf so badly, but I think for spring, it's nice to keep things clean. I think autumn and especially Christmas festive season, there's quite a lot you can do in terms of decorating your bookshelves. And I think then is a really nice time to make your bookshelves all cozy. For now, I've taken all my candles off, taken off all my cuddly toys. I'm just keeping it super clean, apart from that one little flower, which is too perfect for spring not to put on there. But that is it. Spring clean of the bookshelves officially complete for 2025. I'm gonna try and keep the dust to a minimum and just do some spot dusting for the next 6 months or so. And then we will definitely be back doing this again at Christmas and doing a full festive reorganize and decorate. And I'm so excited to see all the books that are going to be going on these shelves in time for Christmas and how much less space we're going to have, all new favorite reads over the next 6 months. Oh, this is the most satisfying thing ever. No matter how big or small your bookish collection is, this is your sign to do a bit of a stock take, just to go through them. Even just perusing your own books is so satisfying and so heartwarming. It like reminds you of all the lovely stories, and you just have little memories of bits that you loved in each of the books as you kind of flick through them all. Oh, we love books, don't we? We just love books. Anyway, that is it from me. I hope you're having such a lovely week. I hope you're in the middle of a brilliant book, and I cannot wait to see you in the next one. Bye guys.